What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. And wow, a lot has happened here since last night. Some major things here that we're going to be discussing here. Let's jump right in because there's a lot to cover. First up, the U.S. House of Representatives passes the Inflation Reduction Act, sending it to President Biden's desk for his signature. Then we'll be covering how former President Donald Trump, the search warrant, they have recovered evidence that could carry a possible multi-year prison sentence. We'll be going over that here and what they found here last night. So stay tuned for that here as well. We'll get to that here in a minute. But the House of Representatives has passed the Inflation Reduction Act, sending it to President Biden for his signature here last night. Now, the bill they passed in the House was the exact same bill that the Senate passed. So if they had made any changes to it, then they would have had to send the bill back to the Senate and do the whole process over here yet again. So the House passed the exact same bill that the Senate had passed. The voting was, as you can see here, the House passed the Manchin-approved, Senator Joe Manchin, Inflation Reduction Act here late Friday night. The vote was 220 to 207, with all House Republicans voting no in opposition. Exact same thing happened in the third stimulus check package as well. This shows how divided our Congress is right now. A lot of bills like this, Democrats and Republicans voting no or in opposition of each other here. It heads to President Biden's desk for signature, capping a year-long saga on their domestic agenda.
The motion is adopted.
Tonight, Democrats celebrating a hard-fought victory, passing the Inflation Reduction Act, which will increase taxes on large corporations, allow Medicare to negotiate the costs of prescription drugs, and it makes massive investments in cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
It is really a cause for celebration.
President Biden tweeting, "Today, the American people won, but Republicans are blasting the legislation as reckless spending."
Reject the ballooning of government. Reject the spending of things that we don't need with money we don't have.
Still, the moment caps a week of wins for Democrats. On Tuesday, President Biden signed a bipartisan bill that will pour billions of dollars into U.S. semiconductor production. Wednesday, he signed the PACT Act, which expands benefits for veterans exposed to toxic burn pits. But Democrats are facing headwinds heading into the midterms, with the economy still the top issue for voters.
You still have millions and millions of Americans struggling with the high costs of almost everything.
A recent poll shows Democrats who were once trailing Republicans now making gains in the midterms. 38% of Americans say they want Democrats in charge of Congress, while 34% prefer Republican control. But with uncertainty about the economy and headlines swirling around his predecessor, can the president keep the momentum going? How does President Biden, who has struggled with messaging, break through?
Yeah, it's really all about repetition every single day, talking about the important things that now Congress and Democrats have done to improve the lives of voters.
All with less than 3 months until voters weigh in. Kristen Welker, NBC News, the White House.
We've been talking about this bill here for several days. We'll have a lot more details here on it as we go forward here. You can see from Business Insider, Congress passed the biggest climate package in U.S. history, which is part of this bill. For you, it means cheaper energy, clean air, and jobs, which will lower energy bills, they say, between $500 and $1,000 per year, make EVs affordable, create 1.5 million jobs, cut pollution, and cap Medicare drug costs at $2,000 a year, which is about $166 a month. And it will cap insulin at $35 a month, but only for Medicare patients, not for people with private insurance, as that was voted down by 43 Republicans. It fell short by 3 votes. It had 57 votes in the Senate, as you can see here. And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says that they will vote again sometime soon here for potentially a $35 insulin cap per month after the Republicans blocked it for private insurance for people that have regular insurance through their job or through private, not through Medicare. So that could be voted on here again sometime soon. I will keep you up to date here on that. And really, there's a lot more stimulus programs here on the horizon, like a possible, there's probably going to be a huge food SNAP increase coming here soon. They have a big food conference coming here actually next month here in September. A probable student loan payment pause and or student loan forgiveness coming maybe soon. I'll keep you up to date here on that. And we have dozens of states doing state stimulus checks and tax rebate checks, property taxes, and we have like over 20 different states here that have done state stimulus checks here as well. I'll link you to my most recent video here that shows the 20 or so different states that are doing state stimulus checks, and we see more and more of those coming out here almost on a weekly basis here as well. But let's get to the next most breaking news here going on here right now, which is we're getting more details here by the almost hour on this. And that is the FBI has recovered 11 sets of classified documents in the Trump search, according to a new report. 11 sets of classified documents. And as you can see here, the Trump search warrant cites statutes that could carry possible multi-year prison sentences. Now, Trump has not been charged with anything, but this is what could possibly happen. Now, whether or not this will happen is another story here. But here's some of the details here on what is now unfolding. Take a listen to this. It's unbelievable for lack of any other word. Let me know your thoughts on this.
Tonight, we start with that breaking news. Our first look at the search warrant used to seize those highly classified documents the FBI found inside former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. That unprecedented search turning up sensitive documents, 4 even labeled top secret and meant to be viewed only in highly secured facilities. Tonight, what we're finding out about what else was found, including 27 boxes, information about the president of France, clemency papers for top Trump confidant Roger Stone, and binders of photos. All of it fueling questions tonight about what will happen next, with a document stating agents were searching for evidence of violating 3 laws, including part of the Espionage Act. Tonight's revelation bookending a week that began with that hours-long search. We've got it all covered tonight, and we begin with Kelly O'Donnell in Washington.
Tonight, government secrets recovered. NBC News obtained, and later a federal magistrate unsealed, the search and seizure warrant that made history this week, as FBI agents removed 11 sets of classified documents from the Florida estate of former President Donald Trump. His lawyer signed the receipt that lists each box removed. Among the 27 boxes seized, a set of documents marked top secret, sensitive, compartmented information. That's material that can be only viewed in a secure facility where no cell phones are permitted, a room with special defenses designed to prevent foreign eavesdropping. Other documents removed were marked at different security levels: top secret, secret, and confidential. An alarming detail. The warrant said FBI agents were pursuing national defense information. The court filing shows investigators had probable cause related to 3 federal laws, including violations of the Espionage Act.
It's a statute that has been used in prior criminal prosecutions of individuals who are in unlawful possession of classified information. And that's a pretty shocking thing to see undergirding a search warrant focused on a former president of the United States.
The Washington Post reports that agents were looking for classified documents about nuclear weapons, according to people familiar with the investigation. In a social media post, the former president has disputed that, stating, "Nuclear weapons issue is a hoax. Consequential events never seen before. A former president and his private enclave under scrutiny." An attorney general saying he signed off on the search.
I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant.
The court authorized a broad search of the 17-acre estate, covering all storage rooms and all other rooms, all structures or buildings on the estate, available to be used by F. POTUS, the former president, and his staff, but excluded areas occupied by private club members. While most seized items are described with just a box number, a few reveal more, like this: an executive grant of clemency for Roger Stone, info regarding the president of France, 2 binders of photos, and 1 handwritten note. In a statement, former President Trump responds, "It was all declassified," adding they could have had it anytime they wanted without playing politics.
All right, Kelly O'Donnell joins us now from the White House. And Kelly, the FBI now has their documents back. And I guess the big question tonight, is that it? Was that their goal, or to pursue charges?
To be determined. So investigators must review what's inside all these boxes. Is it enough that government property has been returned the hard way? Will we learn why the former president kept these things? The affidavit in this matter is still sealed, and that contains much more about what investigators were pursuing and where this might lead. Tom?
All right, still so many questions tonight. Kelly O'Donnell leading us off from the White House. I want to bring in now our justice correspondent, Ken Delaney. And Ken, Kelly touched upon this in her story, but explain to our viewers, what laws does the FBI suspect the former president has broken?
The warrant says the FBI was looking for documents connected to violations of 3 statutes, Tom. One makes it illegal to destroy or conceal records in a federal investigation. A second prohibits the unlawful removal of government materials. And a third, the Espionage Act, makes it a crime to take national defense information with intent to harm the United States. Anyone convicted of any of those crimes could face significant prison time, though it's not clear at all whether the Justice Department intends to charge Trump or anyone else.
And Ken, the former president, as you know, saying tonight he declassified those documents. Does he have a legal argument, and will he need proof?
Many legal scholars say he doesn't have an argument, Tom, because even though the president has the power to declassify documents at will, they believe the declassification has to be documented in some way. They say a former president can't just take home state secrets and claim without evidence that he declassified them when he was in office. But the idea that secrecy rules apply to the president has never been tested in court. And some scholars think Trump could fend off criminal charges by citing his presidential authority. What's noteworthy about the 3 laws the FBI cites, though, Tom, is that they apply whether or not the records are classified. It's almost as if the Justice Department was anticipating Trump's defense.
So we're literally learning more information here as the hours go by. Let me know your thoughts here. What do you think? Do you think they're going to charge him? That would be a major precedent, because that we've never seen anything like that happen. Short of, things like Watergate and, stuff like that here in the past. The other thing here is that, he had 15 boxes previously of classified documents that he was, made to give back for, lack of a better term here. And if obviously he knew that there was more there, or however you want to put it, why would he hold on to more? It really kind of is there even more at this point? I mean, you would think not, since the FBI was there and his lawyer signed off on this. The lawyer was there, signed off on the documents. So the question here is, what happens here now going forward? So are they satisfied? Is the FBI satisfied that they got the documents back? Do you think they're going to try to charge him? if they did, can you imagine the political battle we would have going forward with the can you imagine? That would just be an absolute I don't even know how to put it. It would just be a complete shit show, for lack of a better term, because oh my gosh, it would just be Republicans and Democrats just completely would never never get along ever again for quite some time. Would we be able to pass anything for a while? And don't forget, we have elections coming up here. But the problem with this is that Republicans and Democrats still have to get along to pass bills, at least in the Senate, because you need 60 votes in the Senate to pass the majority of bills. And we haven't had one party with 60 votes in quite a while. Quite a while. 50, yeah, it's a 50-50 Senate right now. But we haven't had one party with 60 in, I don't even know. So here's the problem is that will this divide our country even further? You know, right now, there's a lot of controversy over it. A lot of Republicans are really mad, but they did recover these documents. So the FBI says, or they're probably at least thinking, they're like, hey, he had the documents. So, I mean, the FBI is probably saying, well, you could be mad at us, but he wasn't supposed to have the documents, is probably what the FBI is thinking. But will they charge him? That would be a bigger bombshell. You can let me know your thoughts here. What do you think is going to happen here in the next 24 to 48 hours, or might it take longer here? So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here, and I'll also keep you up to date here with what's going to happen here going forward. As we get closer to the election, we're seeing a lot more states come out with more stimulus programs, as well as the SNAP coming out here, and student loan forgiveness, and all these other programs here. As we get closer to the election, it just seems like there's a lot more happening here. So, and we did have several bipartisan bills passed here. And I'll keep you up to date here with everything. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. And then click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live here, so you don't miss out on any new videos. You can click here to see 20 different states that are sending out stimulus checks here to tens of millions of people here, some going out this month. And you can click here to see multiple other stimulus programs here that are going out here as well for tens of millions of people as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.